Good morning. My name is Anton Schrag. I'm working in DG REGIO, the department in the European Commission, which is dealing not in the first place with rural areas, but with all territories of Europe. And for us, clearly territorial cohesion is at our heart, and it's at the heart of EU policies, because we are supporting rural areas, coastal communities, islands, urban areas, and all places in Europe via our programs in shared management in order to build resilient societies. Now, 3 months ago, and we discussed extensively in the past day, the Commission proposed this new multi-annual framework budget, and there we have a chapter on preparedness and crisis management. It focuses on a rapid anticipation and response and management of natural and human-induced disasters. And it will strengthen the Union civil protection mechanism with substantial funding. 11 billion are foreseen in that budget for civil protection and health emergency preparedness. Let's not forget that we have behind us also COVID. These national partnership plans which we are proposing shall finance investments for preparedness, for solidarity support after a disaster. Flexible reserve of 5% is foreseen in the budget for rapid reactions. That is a new element here. The EU level is apparently geared towards reacting on the one hand and resilience on the other hand in times of various crises. To underline this new focus of the EU, I also recall the title of the newest foresight report of the Commission, which was published last week, which is named Resilience 2.0. And it fits very well that we have from the OECD the study mentioned, as a report mentioned yesterday, reinforcing rural resilience. In 2021, when the long-term vision for rural areas was defined, already one of the 4 pillars also was named resilience. The vision was adopted with a view to the COVID crisis. But now we have another crisis, which is long-term looming, and it's also a question for the vision. It's related to climate change and natural disasters. The EU has created a number of investment instruments in the past in diverse domains, and I just want to name some of these reacting. One example I want to pick is the European Energy Communities Facility, dating from March 25 and co-funded by the LIFE program, designed to empower and support local energy communities. We have energy crisis, we have energy poverty, and we need to help people in this situation. It aims at supporting at least 140 energy community projects in early stages by providing lump sum grants to develop robust business plans. But beyond the financial support, it shall offer specialized training and resources to shape innovative and long-lasting business models. Then, since June 22, 27 rural energy communities benefited from technical assistance via the Rural Energy Communities Advisory Hub. Another aspect is the social resilience for rural and coastal communities. The implementation of the European Care Strategy goes in this sense. The Commission also casts the spotlight on gender equality with a dedicated CAP network workshops in the last years, and in this year published a study on the working condition of agricultural workers. The European Child Guarantee aims to ensure socially excluded rural children have access to essential services and opportunities. For example, my colleague who is now in another room, she comes from a rural area and benefited from educational support, which brought her out of the Alpine Valley she grew up in to study in international context. And she wants still later on to return to her rural community. So it will have a lasting impact on the rural community. In 21-27, cohesion policy provided support to rural areas with its mission to reduce the disparities which we have between the different level of development in regions. We know it was not super successful because while everybody got a bit better off, almost, the gap has still widened between rural and urban areas. Our support is still concentrated on the less developed regions. They happen to be very often rural, and sometimes they are lucky with having a small town in them. The support in our programs, we have more than 200, is very wide-ranging, but we have 5 policy objectives, and these cover all the areas the Rural Vision has covered, and they go beyond the interventions which we are physically basing in rural areas. So we cannot give you a figure how much money was invested from ERDF in rural areas for the benefit of rural areas, because many of our projects are based not in rural areas, but supporting rural areas. Under the ERDF, we have also a specific investment objective for integrated development in rural and coastal areas. And in 18 member states, this has received allocations. Resilient rural areas receive support not only under Policy Objective 4, but also under Policy Objectives 5 and 2, by, for example, support on renewable energies, biodiversity conservation, or social infrastructure. If I take an example from Italy, there we have the National Strategy for Inner Areas, which identified pilot areas, which are basically all rural, and defined their bottom-up local strategies and funded interventions linked to energy efficiency, social infrastructure, mobility, and digitalization. And I want to mention LEADER, but there are much more competent people here who support me on what is LEADER. With its enormous network, with 125,000 people, as far as I understand, active in LEADER, and 30 years of a very successful history. You started with a few hundred LEADER activities 30 years ago, and there was only the Rural Development Fund funding them. Now, as I understand, there are more than 3,000 local action groups, 300 fisheries local action groups, and also the around 500 newly created community-led local development initiatives, funded by not just one fund, but by at least 4 funds. They're all created to be bottom-up, place-based, people-concentrated, and they are partnership. And they are able to make use very often of multi-fund support. An example we will see later on from our colleague from the Czech Republic, and it is also a clear sign that multi-fund is in the interest of the Commission, that a lot of Commission services are present in this room. What the Rural Vision in 21 could not foresee were the man-made disasters, more concretely the Russian aggression in Ukraine, which have a heavy impact on us, and in particular on our eastern regions, which are mainly rural. This aggression highlights the enormous role we have for our rural areas for the resilience of the whole continent, of the whole EU. Without resilience and support and the opportunities provided by the rural areas, we would be in a much worse position as a EU, as a citizen as a whole. We in the EU have created some instruments to mitigate the effects of this additional and totally unnecessary crisis by allowing the modification of programs in the past 3 years, and we will have, with the midterm revision of the cohesion policy, a new move to enable further flexibility. But our funds are only a means with their money. It must be the people and the organizations to make use of it. Local actors are needed, and that's why we are here to listen to you. I look forward to listening to the examples we are getting and how resilience is strengthened at local level. So we do not need to make recourse to disaster reactions, but we can try to prevent a disaster to impact us. We cannot prevent the disaster, but maybe the impact. So prevention and preparedness are better than cleaning up and limiting damage. Thank you, and good discussion.
Thank you very much, Anton. Thanks. Indeed, that was a very wide, you've seen, let's say, bird's eye view on the variety of things that the Commission has already done and is still doing. And then we have a specific example from Renata. And I have forgotten to say that before Anton, so I didn't dare to stop him from, but for the others, I already want to make a deal with all the speakers that I was showing you the 5 minutes, which does not unfortunately apply to Renata because she's meant to speak for less than that. And then there's a 1 minute. So there's a yellow card, and not exactly a red card, but let's say an orange card to remind people when they should be finishing. So please be disciplined, and I would try to
so perhaps you can start with the 5 minutes for me, because my presentation is actually supposed to be very brief, and I'm very happy that I was still given this space to share with you key messages from the Czech experience with multi-fund CLLD. And I'm going to focus more on ESF, European Social Fund, side of the thing, because this is what I'm responsible for, and many other parts of what we are doing in the Czech Republic within the multi-fund has already Radim covered here, so I'm just giving my little part to this. So, 1 minute gone? No. So, in Czechia, we believe that CLD and local action groups play a crucial role in fostering resilient rural communities. Through diverse activities, LEX help balance living conditions across all the regions, which aligns with the cohesion policy and regional policy, regional development goals. In Czechia, which I would like to stress this part in my presentation, LEX also leads social inclusion efforts in small and remote municipalities. They support vulnerable citizens and preventive community care. And because they possess valuable local knowledge and they deliver tailor-made local solutions, over the years they've been working on this, they become knowledge-based entities for the ministry and for the policymakers, which is, I think, very important. And this bottom-up participatory approach strengthens social resilience and complements state resources, which is especially critical given the current demographic and other societal challenges. So that was the biggest part, I promised, yeah. Multi-fund, multi-sector approach in Czechia brings synergies and greater efficiency. And these are some of the reasons that we think, as the OECD thinks as well, as we heard yesterday, that integrated place-based model or approaches should be firmly embedded in EU legislation for the post-27 and automatically applied in cohesion policy implementation. What we think as well is that there is still the need to strengthen CLLD within and territorial approaches within ERDF and ESF, and perhaps European Commission could play a bigger role in capacity building for managing authorities, because this is something that we feel that was missing there when actually multi-fund was introduced. Okay. And where am I? Yes, and of course, as everybody mentions, and we should still work on this, less bureaucracy means more room for impact. So this is something, oh yes, this is something that we should focus on further. So to conclude, empowering local communities with appropriate instruments such as CLRD and fostering multi-sector cooperation is a smart and necessary investment for a resilient, sustainable rural Europe. And these instruments need to be not only maintained, but advanced. And these are some of the key recommendations and outcomes of our conference that we had on a CLRD topic in Prague in April this year. and we just finished a complex outcomes and a booklet from this conference with the recommendations and with the topics that we actually cover within, especially and mainly within ESF. And we will be distributing it with the materials from this conference, which we are very thankful to the Rural Pact Office. And the evidence is as well caught in the case studies that we have within our evaluation of our projects in ESF. And the interlinks are actually working in the presentation, so you can even go to the website, and we have even abstracts and things in English, so it will be very easy for you to read. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming discussions. And I'm
Many thanks, Renata.
Yes.
Great. That's really very grateful for that. I am particularly grateful that you mentioned this, the topic of building the capacity of managing authorities of also ERDF and ESF. I remember Anton mentioned that the 300 fisheries, the local action groups in fisheries areas, and that DG Mare has put a substantial effort into the capacity building of the fisheries managing authorities to put this in place. Of course, for LEADER, there has been a lot of capacity building for different actors. There's nothing comparable in the ESF and the RDF, just to say, just to think about it in the future. And yes, the material that you were sharing will be available on our website. It's not here to be distributed, but I understand you will give it to us, and we will put it on the website together with all the other material. You will have all the PowerPoints and everything else on the website. Okay, so these were the two, let's say, public sector overviews, and then we have the actual examples from what's going on the ground. So the first one is from Poland, and this is again something that was mentioned, I think, by Theodora, by Elizabeth, about the misinformation, or let's say the need to inform the rural actors and the also decision makers about the true situation, and not to be allowed to be, let's say, steered by this information. And that example from Dariusz Piechowiak from Barycz Valley Local Action Group, multi-funded local action group, will be part of that. And again, you have 8 minutes, and try to be disciplined.
Can I have your microphone? Yes, yes. I'm a little bit afraid. I'm for the first time on the Rural Pact Conference, and please help me if you will not understand everything. I'm a member of Local Action Group Partnership for Barycz Woli. Barycz is the river in Poland. It's 133 kilometers long. And I work for municipality Przygodzice. It's in the Poznań region, as you know. Intermunicipal plan for climate change adaptation. We prepared this document, and I will share you information about us and about this document. We are connected by Barycz River and Nature 2000 area. We have the oldest fish ponds in Europe, full of fishes. We have the biggest landscape park in Poland. It's some kind of protected area by our national law. And we have quality sign, Dolina Baryczy Poleca. It's our sign, and every year we check our businesses, who offer some things for inhabitants, and we take them quality sign Dolina Baryczy Poleca. We have also educational website for education about our area, and we put them many scenarios for education. We put them offer from our business and our inhabitant, our businesses, our organization can use this offer and educate about our area. We implemented many funds. In this European Union funds period, we have funds for fishing area and to different strategies for our different regions, from the region of Wrocław and region of Poznań. In my region, we have two funds, Common Agricultural Policy and Regional Fund for Development. It's our area. Our area, it's agriculture. Most of our area is agriculture. We have many ponds full of fish. We take care about biodiversity and ecosystems because without water we have none. Agriculture and farming, tourism and recreation, climate regulation and water retention. Without water, we will have nothing. Yeah, I know that you know these scenarios. First of them is about rainfall totals, and second of it is average temperature will increase in every scenarios. You know it. It's pictures of drought forecasts for our luck. All of them are bad scenarios. We prepared adaptation, intermunicipal plan for adaptation for climate changes. It was necessary in Poland for cities more than 100,000 inhabitants. We are 8 municipalities and we have 100 inhabitants together. It is my mistake. The biggest municipality is more than 20 inhabitants. The biggest city is 11,000 inhabitants. We are a rural area. And we prepared our plan. It's financed from European Agricultural Funds as our own operation. We prepared working groups, study visits, workshops with experts, and we prepared plan with proposals. We did it together. 8 municipalities did it together, and it is our common proposals for adaptation for climate changes. A goal of it is every 8 municipalities should to have a law, local councils should adopt this plan as a resolution. So our local councils are different people, and not everybody are like climate change, like topic of climate changes. So we prepared leaflets. You saw it. I think the best one is about water, is about renewable energy, and about biodiversity. And we prepared a conference. We invited local councils members for this conference, and we invited experts. We talked about groundwater, how important is supply water and catch water in our properties, in our areas, not only in ponds or not only in rivers. When you put the water in the canals, in the rivers, in the sea, you lost it. You lost it for everywhere. We talked about agricultural landscape. We have more big farms now, and farmers not every time take care about biodiversity. And it was my presentation. We changed our area behind the building, our town hall building, from this to this. We put more green and surface. Surface who likes water. We planted many trees, we organized many workshops for inhabitants, and it helped because all 8 municipalities adopted as a resolution our intermunicipal plan. So I think education is very important. We should talk about it, about hard topics, about climate changes, and I think it's the best way. We did the best what we can. We take care about alleys. We prepared rain gardens. I built first rain garden in our area. We take care about wetlands. We take care about playgrounds and creating permeable surfaces. And it's the most important for rural area to take care about biodiversity. When the landscape is like on the first picture, biodiversity is on high level. When your landscape is like on the last picture, biodiversity is on the lower level. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great. And thank you also for keeping the time. Yeah, but we can maybe use the second microphone in case. So thank you. Thanks a lot. It's a very nice success story, really. Like, without the information, there were doubts about the climate in the municipality councils, and there were uncertainties. There was this information campaign, and they changed their mind, and they were happy to adopt the plans. So this has had a concrete result, and it has a whole range of very, very interesting, simple language material for using, I think. Okay, then the second example, we're jumping across from the north to the south almost, like, and we go to Italy, where the lag Maiella Verde has developed a very interesting process that Carlo Ricci will share with us about project communities working together. So it's not individual projects anymore to be supported, but it's the communities working together for projects. That's to contribute to resilience. Carlo.
Thank you. Good morning. Okay, I will try to start with a quick story. That is the story of the first projects we start to implement in a new way. Here, start in this small village in my region, central Italy. The name is Altino. And in this village, there was a group of young people that organized a festival to celebrate the local typical food, that is this dried sweet pepper that was completely forgotten. And after this festival, you see, it's 2015, but maybe also the year before it was organized, a group of citizens, together with some young farmers, asked to the lag to support their project to recover and enhance the value of this typical local food. And so they were approved to form a project community. What is a project community? A project community is a group of local stakeholders that share a vision to enhance a local asset that maybe is underused, underutilized, and many times is a common. And they elaborate a strategy to enhance this, and they are supported by the lag in this strategy. We are speaking of very small projects, and I will see you, for example, what happened in Altino. Yes, in Altino, the project of Altino was an expenditure of 45,000 euro, and in about 4 or 5 years, they started with a study visit to see other examples in other regions of Italy. Then they had a program of technical assistance for farmers, a research in cooperation with the research center about biodiversity of this specific red pepper, and then these technical seminars. They approved a sort of a voluntary protocol, and then they became Slow Food Presidium. Slow Food is an international NGO that supports the typical foods, and they come from Italy. So in Italy it's very popular. And what is interesting is to see what happened in this village in the 10 years that cover the period of implementation of this small project. So at the beginning, okay, the production was more or less lost. And then we had 28 farmers cultivating this product. But above all, I want to underline the price of the dried product that went from 16 to 60 euro per kilo. And also the jobs. This, as you can see, is a very small economy, but for a small village is something relevant. So what is interesting, I wanted to make you see that in this picture, that is the formation of a project community, there is a typical group of stakeholders of my area. And what I like of this photo is that the mayors, they take with them the banner of the municipality to say that it is an important meeting, the formation of a project community. And after this project, we adopted the method. In that time, there were 10 projects, and in a big, not big, but in a program named 10 Flowers to be Saved. Then we adopted this method for every action that the LAG has to perform. So in the new period, we had 27 project communities in 4 different topics, including tourism product, micro-regions, tourism organization, local regeneration in peripheric area. So different topics, spending 1,140,800 euros, and making 47 projects, because these are yearly annual projects. And if a community realizes the 80% of the project, they can present a new annual project. So some of them, they have a double intervention. And how does it work? No, we select project communities through a call, a public call, and this is in 2 steps. In the first steps, we just recognize the community, and this first step is just based on the consistency of the idea and of the group of promoters. You can't promote a community on red pepper without farmers, for example, no? It's clear. And in the second step, we select the real project, the operational project, and we have criteria to do this. But what is the important part is that in these projects, we don't give money. We just pay expenses. So the community is in charge of implementing the project, has the autonomy to decide what to do and how to do this. And the LAG is a sort of administrative office. So this is very important, because in this way, the bureaucratic and administrative burden for the people is almost zero, because it's the LAG that takes it. And in this way, we can have in this community a lot of activism, a lot of participation, collaboration, and so on. And what is the most important thing? We have a very interesting mix of people. We have guides, we have organic farmers, we have mayors, we have chefs, a lot of different kind of people. And many times they are linked with interesting networks at national and international level. But what I have to say that most of them couldn't be, or don't want to be, a rural development plan beneficiary, because to be a beneficiary of rural development program is difficult for a very small intervention. So for the administrative and bureaucratic fulfillments that you have to do. So going to the end, because we have not time, but Of course, these projects are small, we have many of them, and this is a very demanding activity for the LAG, because you have to supply both. From one side, a tailor-made support to the community, and from the other side, an administrative, a bureaucratic activity for all the expenses. And many times, these small projects have so different kind of expenses that some of them are really on the border of eligibility, you know, for many reasons. So it's not very, 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 how can I say, safe activity from one side. We had several independent evaluations, and we could assess what are the drivers of effective community. I can't tell you one by one because we have not time, but what I want to underline is the missing one. What is important is to have the right people inside these work groups, because they have the social energy to go on. And they invest a lot more than the money that we spend to support them. And so, concluding, we had inspired many other LAGs and also regional and national authorities in Italy. Also, the Smart Village measure in Italy has been written inspired by this experience. But what really moves me is to see the bottom-up, the participation in the implementation phase. Because, you know, normally we are used to have bottom-up in the design phase of projects. To have this participation, this collaboration in the implementation, you realize that it's simply a way to do better the things. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. So, thank you very much, Carlo. So, there can be no resilience without communities' involvement. So, you have shown how you can actually make this go from the bottom up, and you found solutions even for administrative burden, which is miraculous. Okay, and then quickly moving on. We will have time to discuss all these examples, and our speakers will also be around the discussion circles to support you. But we have to move on. We're jumping to the west of Europe. We're jumping to Portugal. And as you remember, Renata said that in Czechia, you're combining different funding sources still in the community-led local development, in CLLD. In Portugal, they combine CLLD with integrated territorial investment, so CLLD plus ITI. So that's another, I think, interesting way to enhance resilience, and also, I think, as Sandra will show in her area, the water, as in the Barycz Valley example, is a very important element. So okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Rosario. I'm from Associação in Loco, in the south of Portugal. And it is a really great privilege here, to be here sharing a little bit of our work. My association in Loco is a local development association and was created in 1988 in the Algarve. The aim of our work is to fight unemployment and social exclusion throughout innovative local development strategies. We try to empower rural communities to become resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. For example, we support entrepreneurship, small farmers, employment, resource management, and above all, citizen participation. Since 1991, we have been the managing entity of UNLAG. The LAGs, as you know, are based on the leader methodologies, whose central logical is that local communities know their needs best and therefore should play an active role in defining and implementing development strategies. This slide is just to recall the 7 principles of the leader approach. For us, the most important and the heart of CLLD is the bottom-up approach. Our working area is shown in the map in the middle of the Algarve. CLLD is an approach that starts from the community, from the bottom up, and this means that development is not imposed from the top, but built by local people for local people. And the population and local actors actively participate in identifying problems, setting priorities, and implementing projects, instead of merely being recipients of decisions made